Hey guys, afternoon. So I've been to lunch with a couple of clients today. We were discussing like the start of everybody's journey and what the emotions people go through and what they're thinking. And for me, every person that books a call with me about the mentorship, I have about 3 to 5 back to back, Monday to Friday. Very busy, so I still do the sales calls myself. But I love it. It's the entry point to the mentorship. I want to speak to every single person that books a call with me. But the very first question that gets asked is, I live here. Does this location work? Well, I would show you my location, but if I walk outside that front door, lose connection because we'd be lucky to even get H4. Was it H4 with the iPhone 4 back in 2007 or something like that? I live in, if you Google Stallbridge, right? Surrounded by trees, hence all of the moss on the conservatory roof. But I live in a tiny little town called Stallbridge. It is the smallest town in Dorset, right? The nearest city to me is Bristol, and then we've got Bournemouth. Both very hard nuts to crack in terms of rent to rent. I don't actually know a single person that has a rent to rent in Bournemouth. I think one landlord is like a kingpin landlord in Bournemouth. So Bournemouth is probably an hour away from me. Bristol is probably an hour and 20 minutes. Don't get me wrong, I had many viewings in Bristol, but I just could not crack it. It is so competitive. But my point being is, whenever somebody asks me that question, it's like, does my area work? I'm like, okay. I smile every time because I already know the answer, even before I know where they live. And the answer is this, right? Do you want to be successful? Yes. Okay, that's it. Put in the work. Travel. Have a radius. Everybody wants to succeed on their doorstep and get like a property 15 minutes away. It's like, business isn't easy. Being successful isn't easy. Financial freedom isn't going to come easily. It's not going to land on your lap. Like, you've got to go out and get it. For 1 month, I drove 1,200 miles in one given month, just searching for rent-to-rent deals, going on viewings. So, 3-hour radius. If you've got a driving license, be willing to book off Friday afternoon just to go on batch viewings. I'd done a 14-hour day once to go all the way to Brighton. That's 3 hours away from my house. I had 11 properties booked in, but by the time I got there, 2 landlords had backed out. So I viewed 9 properties that day. Didn't get home until 1 o'clock in the morning. That day is when I secured 3 HMOs. That day I viewed those 9 properties and 3 come over the line. So that's 3 hours away from me. So you got to hunt for these deals. Don't expect to just drive 15 minutes down the road, and that's where your first rent-to-rent deal is going to come from. You got to be willing to put in the work. I live in the smallest town in Dorset. So whenever somebody says on a call to me, I live here, does this work? I'm like, I don't care if your area doesn't work. Do you want to be successful? Do you have a driving license? Okay, then it will work. It's that simple. I love it when that question comes up, just because my journey, my start, my location, my circumstances, my budget was all very typical mentee. Very little money, no experience in rent to rent or property, no experience in property whatsoever. But I was hungry for financial freedom. So I was willing to do whatever it takes. And it's that attribute you need. So forget whether your town works or the nearest city works. You got to be willing to travel and get those deals. Cool. Have yourself a good